Alright, and here on our news today from Times Tabloid, it says here Ripple hits a new high that stuns XRP army. Alright, now, what if I told you that while the entire crypto market is looking left, Ripple just executed a flawless checkmate to the right? Most people are staring at daily charts, hoping for a tiny pump. Meanwhile, Ripple is out there acting like a global financial empire, quietly absorbing entire continent-sized financial systems. On June 23, 2026, Ripple dropped an announcement that completely stunned the XRP army. They didn't just get another basic partnership. They didn't just launch another pilot program. Ripple officially received preliminary approval for a crypto asset service provider license in Luxembourg under the EU's strict markets and crypto asset regulation, also known as MiCA. This isn't just a piece of paper for a small office. This is a golden key that opens the door to 30 countries across the European Economic Area. We are talking about a massive unified network of banks, fintech firms, and multi-billion-dollar corporations suddenly having a direct legal pathway to plug straight into Ripple's payment rail. So in this video, we are breaking down why this specific license changes the entire global chessboard, how it interacts with their other regulatory achievements, and what this actually means for the volume flowing through the XRP ledger. Alright, so let's start with our very first question about why is Luxembourg the secret command center for Ripple's European takeover. Luxembourg might look like a small spot on a map, but in the banking world, it is an absolute titan. It is one of the premier financial hubs on the planet. By securing this preliminary approval, which comes in the form of an official green light letter from Luxembourg's regulatory body, Ripple didn't just set up shop in one country. Because of Europe's MiCA framework, a license in Luxembourg can be passported across 30 different nations. Now, here comes my opinion. I look at this move and I see pure genius. Ripple isn't trying to fight individual battles anymore. They are going straight for the financial nerve centers. By securing this anchor in Luxembourg, they have essentially created a regulatory fortress. It proves that Ripple's strategy has never been about waiting for the retail crowd to pump the coin. They are building a toll road for institutional money, and Luxembourg is the main gate. When you see a company building this level of legal defense, you realize they aren't planning for a successful month. They are planning for a dominant decade. Now, as for our next question, how do combined licenses create an unstoppable financial breach? This new license doesn't exist in a vacuum. What makes the XRP army so excited right now is that Ripple already holds an electronic money institution license in Luxembourg. Right? An EMI license in Luxembourg, which they locked down earlier in 2026. By stacking these two together, a European bank doesn't have to deal with multiple vendors, different softwares, or complex legal hurdles. They get a single integration. For the first time, corporates can access a fully unified crypto asset and stablecoin payments infrastructure in one go. Now, here comes my opinion. My take on this is that it completely solves the friction problem. In business, if something is even slightly complicated, corporations won't use it. They hate complexity. By combining electronic money capabilities with regulated crypto services under MiCA, Ripple has turned their system into an automated machine. It's like upgrading from an old dial-up internet connection to a dedicated fiber optic line for international web. They have removed every X-course a European bank could have for not adopting this technology. Now, is Ripple's global footprint growing too big for competitors to catch up? If you look at the macro picture, the momentum Ripple has built over the last several months is dizzying. They have quietly collected over 75 regulatory licenses across the globe. Right? 75. It's 75 regulatory licenses. Just look at the timeline leading up to this moment. They secured EMI license and crypto regulation from the UK's Financial Conduct Authority. They locked down critical payment licenses in Singapore and the United Arab Emirates, and they even acquired BC Payment Australia to snag a financial services license down under. Now, here comes my opinion to that. When I step back and analyze this as a market observer, I see a company that is essentially building an invisible web around global finance. While other crypto projects are arguing on social media or trying to dodge regulators, Ripple is actively collecting jurisdictions like trophies. They are making it mathematically and legally impossible for any competitor to catch up. They have already processed over $100 billion in volume across 60 markets globally. This isn't a startup experimenting with blockchain anymore. This is a fully realized global utility. Now, what happens to XRP as the licensed network reaches critical mass? We have to look at how all this infrastructure directly impacts the digital asset at the center of it all. Each time Ripple gains a license in a new territory, the legal perimeter for their payment technology expands. And inside that exact payment network, XRP operates as the core bridge currency to handle instant settlement without requiring banks to hold pre-funded capital and foreign accounts. Now, here comes my opinion. This is the exact link that the average retail trader misses. They look at a license announcement and say, okay, but what does that do to the chart today? But you have to look at the plumbing. XRP isn't a speculative meme. It is raw financial liquidity. As the network expands across all 30 European Economic Area countries, the potential volume that can be routed through the XRP ledger scales exponentially. The more countries that are legally allowed to use the rail, the more liquidity pools open up, and the more vital the bridge currency becomes. Now, here comes our overall conclusion. When you weigh all the facts from this historic mid-2026 update, the reality becomes undeniable. Ripple is systemically dismantling the old, slow, frictional methods of moving money across borders. By gaining a powerful foothold in Luxembourg under the official MiCA guidelines, they have positioned themselves to capture a massive share of the European enterprise market. They have crossed the 75 license milestone. They have proven track record of handling over $100 billion in transaction volume, and they are aggressively expanding into every major financial jurisdiction on earth, from London and Dubai to Singapore and Sydney. The strategy is clear. Build the legal infrastructure first. Onboard the institutions second, and let the real-world utility drive the network value. The playground days of crypto are coming to an end, and the era of heavily regulated, institutional-scale digital assets has officially arrived. And this finally ends our video. Thank you very much for watching, and see you on the next one. Or you might just as well check this recommended video right here.